The gym is open 24 hours, and there are people inside at 4 a.m. Not because they have to be, because something inside them won't let them stay away. They track every meal to the gram. They cancel plans to train. They feel physically ill on rest days. The world calls them obsessed. Science calls them something else entirely. And what science found will completely change how you see that person crushing it in the weight room at dawn. This is the psychology of people obsessed with the gym. And by the end of this video, you'll understand that what drives them has almost nothing to do with muscles. Studies estimate that between 1% and 3% of gym goers meet clinical criteria for exercise addiction. That's millions of people. But the gym obsessive is not who you think they are. The stereotype is the vain narcissist taking mirror selfies. The reality, as psychologists have documented for decades, is far more complex and far more human. The average heavily gym-addicted individual discovered the gym during a painful period of their life. A breakup, a job loss, depression, a family crisis. For the first time in a long time, something was in their control. They lifted a weight. The weight went up. In a world that felt chaotic and unpredictable, the iron never lied. Here's the first thing psychology tells us about gym obsessives. The body is almost never the real goal. Research published in the International Journal of Sports Psychology identifies what's called identity fusion with exercise. The gym isn't just something they do, it becomes who they are. Remove the gym and you remove their identity. This is why a missed workout doesn't just feel inconvenient, it feels like a threat to the self. The anxiety, irritability, and guilt gym obsessives feel on rest days aren't overreactions. They're the same neurological response we'd all feel if a central part of our identity was suddenly removed. Research shows that the gym obsessive is often someone who felt a profound lack of control in other areas of their life, a difficult childhood, a career that never went as planned, relationships that left them powerless. The gym gives them something that nothing else does, a domain where effort directly equals outcome. You can't guarantee a promotion, you can't guarantee love, but you can guarantee results if you show up and do the work. Psychologists call this mastery experience, the direct experience of competence through action. Mastery experience isn't just satisfying, it's addictive. The equipment, the routine, the progressive overload, these are not just physical tools. They are the architecture of a controlled world, a world where the rules are clear, the feedback is immediate, and the results are measurable. The gym, for many obsessives, is therapy, but not the comfortable kind. A landmark study from the University of Vermont found that a single 20-minute bout of moderate exercise produces mood improvements that last up to 12 hours. For individuals with higher trait anxiety, the mood response to exercise becomes disproportionately large. The relief after a workout is dramatically greater. In other words, the people who become most obsessed with the gym are often the ones who need it most. The workout isn't vanity, it's their medication. This explains something that confuses outsiders: why gym obsessives are often some of the most emotionally intelligent people you'll meet outside the gym, while being utterly inflexible when it comes to their training schedule. The gym has become the container for everything that's hard to process elsewhere. The bad day goes into the workout. The difficult emotion becomes fuel. The weight doesn't judge. The barbell doesn't have expectations. There's a phrase you'll hear in gym communities: the only therapy I can afford. It's usually said as a joke. It rarely is one. The sweat on the floor after a brutal session isn't just water. For many, it's the physical trace of something emotional they couldn't say out loud. The third thing psychology reveals about gym obsessives is the darkest and the most human. While the world looks at them and sees someone who loves their body, the internal experience is often the opposite. It's called muscle dysmorphia. And studies show that a significant percentage of heavily gym-addicted individuals experience chronic dissatisfaction with their physique, regardless of how developed it actually is. They look in the mirror and see what's missing: the muscle that's not big enough, the definition that's not sharp enough, the the number on the scale that's never quite right. Psychologist Harrison Pope, who first formally described muscle dysmorphia in 1993, identified it as a variant of body dysmorphic disorder. And yet, this endless dissatisfaction is also what keeps them going. The gap between where they are and where they need to be is the engine. It's a painful way to be motivated, but for many, it's the only engine they know. Understanding this doesn't mean excusing the obsession. It means seeing the person behind the obsession and recognizing that behind every extreme behavior, there's a need that hasn't found a better way to be met. Now, I want to ask you something uncomfortable. Is there something in your life that you use the same way? A place, a practice, an activity that gives you back a sense of control when everything feels out of hand? Something that, if you couldn't do it for a week, would leave you strangely lost. We all have our gym. The shape of it is different, but the function is the same. A place where we feel competent, where the rules are clear, where we are in control. The gym obsessive isn't doing something alien. They're doing something deeply human at a volume the rest of us find uncomfortable. The difference between admirable dedication and dangerous obsession is often not about the behavior itself, but about what it costs. Does it build a life or replace one? That's the question worth asking about their gym and about yours. If this changed how you see that person grinding at the gym at 5 a.m. or yourself, subscribe to Extreme Psyche. Every week, one type of mind taken apart and put back together. Next week, the psychology of people who never throw anything away. Spoiler, it's not laziness. See you there.